Go wide. Go wide. Wide shot. Hey, everybody. How you doing? Fred and I are here to entertain you again this week, and we're going to have some good tales for you and good stories and some good updates. But first of all, I want to tell you something about my buddy Fred here. You know, Fred is a good guy, and he's a deep thinker, and I had asked him one time about how he handles problems that are just insurmountable, and Fred just kind of went into this deep thought for about 15 seconds, and he looked up at me and he goes, "You know what? I just forget them." And I think that's a good plan, because if it's important, it'll come back to you, right? So anyway, here we are, live from Spring, Texas. It's Behind the Scope, LLC, starring Fred Shuffler and myself. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. And I want to get some stuff right out in front and out of the way. I would like to get this, first of all, you know what this is? Do you have any idea what, there it is, what that is right there. And we're going to go back to the front screen. This is a luggage tag, huh? And you could have your name engraved on the bottom of it. We also have these wonderful shirts here, and these are our sponsors. If we sell these will help sponsor our show. Look at this beautiful logo. You can be proud rocking this around and showing your dedication to our show, because right now the only people sponsoring this show is Fred and I. Right, Fred? And we have, can you believe this amazing, amazing booklet? These are just flying off the shelves here. In fact, I just had to print up another 100 of these because they're going so quickly with their little QR code on the back. And it's the history of air traffic. You can dazzle your friends with the knowledge that you'll have for air traffic control. I want to get a little plug in for my friend because my windows came in. This is my good friend, Wesley Reese. He owns Capital Glass here in Houston, Texas. And he can come down, give you an estimate on your windows. And my windows look amazing. And I can stand in front of them down here in Spring, Texas, with the sun blazing through the window, and I don't even feel any heat. They have some kind of a mineral compound in them. And I know my electric bill next year will not be $700 a month. One last item I've got to show you, because these are really an amazing product. I don't know if you've ever seen these, okay? These are rapid radios. And they advertise that you could talk around the world on these. They're not cell phone. Once you buy them, the talking on them is free. They work like regular walkie-talkies. And I have talked here in Spring, Texas, to my family members out in, when they were traveling out in Poland in real time. So they're saying that these work around the world. From here to Poland, I know they work. And any other trip that I take, I'm going to try to test them out. I've got about 9 of these, and I'll be using them on set when I go to shoot our picture, The Witch of Windsor, sometime this April, because I got back from AFM, and I believe I got sponsorship, and that's going to give me all the financing for the movie that we need. So having said all that, we're 233,000 subscribers. That's right, there's an army of 233,000 of you out there. How about that, Fred?
And growing.
And growing. So please, you got to help out. You really got to help us. When you watch the videos, watch at least 2 or 3 in a row and thumbs up the videos, because we're not gaining on our monetization. We're still at 12,000, like 12,500. In fact, it's gone down a little bit. We're trying to get our content on 2 a week. In fact, the one I posted last night that was edited by Ronnie Wimberly has to do with trading. So all of you worker bees out there, you might want to take a look at that as far as the trading program goes, because you guys are trying to reinvent the trading program, and we dropped some pretty good pearls in that conversation last night. You have 2510 managers talking about trading. You have former NATCA founding member Rich Phillips. You got Landy Hoffman, Jerry Strickland, Stan Jorgensen, and Tom Threadgill on there. Very knowledgeable people. And the last thing that I want to say, I want to welcome our TriCaster man back. Malcolm Chan. Last week, Bo, I really felt bad for him because I kind of threw him to the Sharks. Malcolm didn't show up, and Malcolm kind of gave him some to-do stuff. And Bo didn't really have any experience working our TriCaster, and it was just all over the place, that plus our sound. So I hope, hey, there's Fred, there's Jack Overfield. Yes, good morning, colleagues. Look at that, the chat line. Hi, idiots, how you doing? I'm John. Yes, it's good to see you out there. Look at you. Our friends are out there. They're talking to us on our comment page, so please comment. But one more thing was, where was I going with that, Fred? What was I?
We were talking about
The train left the station.
workload. Okay.
Malcolm. Oh yeah. So I basically kind of dumped it on Bo, and he came in and he did the best he could. And I really appreciate that. But at the end of it, Bo told me he had never been so stressed out in his entire life in trying to do that. And believe me, we know stress. So, Bo, imagine that kind of stress on a daily basis for 25, 30 years at a time in those short amount of bursts. It takes its toll. So anyway, I'm going to throw this out to Fred because Fred has got some stuff to talk about. What do you say, Fred? You got, bring it in?
It's fascinating that Rob talked about work.
Oh, is your mic on, Fred? Let me see. Yeah, you can't hear him?
Rob talked about working
Oh.
and what I do with that stress. My wife Peggy had asked, I told her I just don't think about it or remember it. And it's fascinating because we can watch a movie on Netflix or something, and 2 days later, she'll turn it on again, and I don't remember it. So I guess I blank it out real quick. Okay, now we get into the business of aviation. And the government reopening and the traffic starting to spool up, the controllers coming back, getting back into work, and the holidays coming up, that workload increases. You have to remember that Boeing and Airbus are building airplanes at record-breaking amounts. So as much as the aircraft that are there, there's new ones that are rolling off the assembly line to start flying also, which increases the controller workload. Then we get into the holidays, which increases the controller workload, and we don't even realize that coming into the new year of 2026, there are over 300 scheduled rocket launches from across the country. And here, Rob will show us a few of the pictures. Right now, you're looking at Boca Chica, Texas, and that is SpaceX, and those are the Starships. Those are real live pictures. Those are lined up down there being built and assembled. Each one of them will go further on a mission. The next one will go into Earth orbit. The following one will go into a further Earth orbit. Till the last one in this line will probably be selected to land on the moon. And that's in this next year. Yes.
Okay.
Now, also, Rob has a map. If you look around at the country, you can find the launch pads for all these missions. That's the East Coast, from Cape Canaveral down.
I'm going to zoom in and talk a little more about
Okay, we don't have a picture of the Boca Chica one with SpaceX, but it's down on the Texas coast, right near Matagorda Bay. And maybe we can all get together and take a ride down there. I'm sure Elon Musk would love to see us visit, knocking on the door. Then on the west coast, at Vandenberg, is another huge launch area.
Is this, no, this is not,
No,
this is the east,
coast.
okay.
You gotta go to the
Yeah.
west coast.
Imagine that. I
Okay.
thought I brought it up here. It's
Anyways,
not being cooperative.
that's okay. Again, we're talking about 300 launches. And if you divide that by 365 days in the year, that's a rocket going up almost every day someplace in this country. Okay, Rob has the West Coast now and all those launch pads. You know, it might be fun going out there and flying a kite, but these things go a lot higher than those kites.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we can make a day of it, or maybe an overnight stay. Have a little hangar talk at the Boca Chica.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. Malcolm would probably enjoy the trip because he would have to come as our TriCaster.
Yeah.
He would ferret out some good internet areas for us. He's smiling. He's like, "What is he saying?"
Maybe we can sell him some of our shirts. I'm sure Elon's got a couple we could buy. That site down there has been growing exponentially, and that town has been taken over by SpaceX. So it's quite a location, and I would love those rockets go up. To get down there and get down there in time to see an actual launch is probably hard to do because the launch envelopes. But hopefully in the future we will show you folks that, and just imagine what the controllers need to do as that rocket goes up. Airspace has to be moved, so they have.
Yeah, probably some kind of ground program in effect, do you think?
Yeah, yeah. We might get to find out more details about that, but there are security sensitive topics that we might not. It gets kind of a sensitive area. Again, the training of the control, they get to work with workloads like this and the traffic increasing with, you know, the holidays and stuff.
Yeah, we've been working, controllers have been working with NASA and all of these space operatives for years. In fact, the year that the shuttle blew up, they had to come in and collect data, radar data, to see where all the pieces fell. Gary Black, he was up in the QA department. He was very instrumental in helping them out get that radar information. So we also did a lot of the UAV stuff on the midshifts, flying around the border, testing out how the non-piloted aircraft could be controlled, and we worked a lot with customs. So we've had our custom guy, Mr. Forbes, on several times, and he's got a couple of pretty cool stories out there, our Apache driver. So if you get a chance, check him out. What do you think, Fred?
Yes, the UAVs and the drones are an increasing part of our workload, and the intelligence in those things has increased incredibly. You're going to see pilots working with these drones, communicating with them directly, and sending them to accomplish various missions they want. Right now, the next B-2 derivative, they're looking at going to one pilot bombers. I myself still carry a pencil, so you know, my trust in computers has its limits. I can't imagine a human flying a multi-billion-dollar airplane for 30, 40, 50 hours at a time and looking to the computer to take care of systems as needed. The good news is the computer doesn't have to take a potty break. The pilot does. So, yeah, that's a significant trust in computers.
Yeah, the older the pilot, I'm sure the more potty breaks that are necessary, huh?
Yeah, this is the next phases of your AI increases. And when you want to get on the back of an airplane and find out that there's only one pilot there.
True.
Yeah, your kids might accept it more than
Flying
you.
boats played an unforgettable role throughout World War
remember when
II,
airplanes
marking
flying
their
boats
finest hour.
Rob, do you have
For
anything
anti-submarine
else?
warfare, long-range
Yeah,
transport,
we'll get to
and
that in a
air-sea
minute.
rescue,
Yeah,
these water birds were
I do remember
indispensable.
when airplanes had propellers also.
From twin-engine patrol
I've taken
planes
the,
to giant
the old
six-engine
Eastern shuttle
bombers.
up and down the East
They offered
Coast, and that was an
versatility
Electra
and mobility to
188.
combatants on both
I
sides
liked
of the
flying that
war.
aircraft, and then Trump
And
Airlines.
to its crew, the flying boat offered a distinct way of
just,
life and
Trump Airlines kind of took that over, and they had the shuttle, Trump shuttle, going back to Boston and back to New York. It saved me a lot of time when it came to driving. I was stationed up in Limestone, Maine, so I would drive down to Boston, or I would take Command Airlines from Presque Isle, Maine, to Boston Logan, and then from Boston Logan I would get the Eastern shuttle and come down. And it was cheap. I think, if I remember right, it was like either 25 or 30 bucks a trip. Man, you can't fly for that cheap nowadays unless you fly in Southwest on some kind of a special deal, huh?
Yeah.
Imagine that. Yeah, there's a fun story on season 4 about me traveling and doing FAMs, and it has to do with articles of clothing and getting hot chocolate in the cockpit because I was up flying with the pilots on a FAM trip. We have any more we want to talk about as far as NASA goes?
No, NASA's busy, NASA slants SpaceX. And coming into light now is also Blue Origin. Jeff Bezos just had a significant accomplishment with a newer rocket, sending up 2 robots, and they're destined to go to Mars. He was also able to bring this rocket back to land, similar to SpaceX, vertically, and a new fuel, a new propulsion system. And again, they're going to be adding to the flights out there, going higher and farther. I don't think they'll go as far as SpaceX, but it's somebody else that's going to...
You see Peggy's comment?
no, I didn't.
Yeah, Peggy, how's his mic sounding now? Any better? So, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Anyway, yep, there's my wife kind of interrupting me as I'm talking.
And rightly so, Peggy. Thank you very much for telling Fred that his mic sounds fuzzy. You know.
Anyways,
We love you, Peggy.
more things to crowd up the skies and things we have to accomplish out in as the Earth expands, going further and further.
Traveling through space, man, I tell you, we're 17,000 miles an hour, is that our rate?
17,500.
17,500. You imagine we're actually moving at 17,500 miles an hour, and we haven't run into anything yet that we know of? There is definitely something out there, because if it was a degree or half a degree off by any means, we would not be here. So if we were to wrap that up and...
Yeah,
Okay.
how about going back to controllers and holiday season working and stuff?
Yeah, well, we do have, believe it or not, now that the FAA, I mean, the moratorium is over, we have all of our controllers back to work, and with all the controllers back to work, we have the airlines spooling up. Can you understand what that must be like when they spool up like that after being down? What was the percentage? Well, let's show the shot screen. You remember how many flights they were taken down?
Oh, I mean, during a day, times
The moratorium.
2,000
So,
plus flights canceled in a day.
yeah, so now,
And then restrictions.
so those controllers that were working that light amount of traffic, very light amount of traffic, now have to go back to 100 miles an hour again, and hopefully they got the proficiency, which I'm sure they do, because they are excellent, well-qualified people that love to do their job. And I see that some people were getting paid $10,000 for not taking 1 day of sick leave. And we talked about that was it last week we talked about that?
Yeah.
And when Trump mentioned that, so many things came to mind, and one of them was, if you take 0 sick leave, okay, during the time that they were...
48 days.
Can you imagine not being able to pay your bills in those 48 days? So the only way to take off time is to take sick leave. So maybe you took 1 or 2 days off, and it wasn't against the ethical flying of traffic. It was survival, because you got kids, you got families to feed, you got mortgages, and maybe you want to do some Uber work or work at a grocery store or something. And even though you were very patriotic in doing your duty and showing up, the president is not going to pay you that $10,000 bonus. I find that kind of rough. I knew that whoever got the $10,000 that didn't take any sick leave would probably be a pariah amongst their friends, and the union is going to jump on that, and there's going to be a lot of busy work between the unions and management about that $10,000. So, Mr. President, just FYI, those people they worked their butt off. The necessity for taking the sick leave, the job still got done, and they were all under stress. I would say $10,000 would be in order for all of them, except for the ones that stayed home the whole time. Now, there's a message there, right? If you had anybody like that, they probably shouldn't even come back to work, as far as I'm concerned. But that's just one man's personal opinion. What do you think, Fred?
I think Mr. Strickland might have that effect on you, yes.
Yeah, Jerry's 100 hours, they don't make it, give them 12 more, they're out the door.
Yeah, and for a couple of 100 years ago, he would have the guillotine and the axe.
I remember those manager tests to find out what kind of manager you were. What are they called? INTJ, EMTJ, the Myers-Briggs test, right? So I got a ENTJ was mine, and the way that they described Jerry's in one meeting was that Jerry could get up that hill. There won't be anybody left, but he will get up that hill. I love you, Jerry. I think that your techniques are amazing, and the people that you take out, they should have probably not even made it. So, and I know you're not a mean guy. I know you got a big heart, so you always mean well. You're always looking how to fix things and how to make safety, how to keep things safe. So lots of respect there. Oh, let's see, 776 controllers got 10,000 according to CBS, and 20,000 controllers did not. I think that that's probably going to change because it just has to. It can't remain that way. There are people that did a great job. So anyway, the Federal Aviation Administration on Friday halved the number of flights in the United States Airlines. They cut from their schedule 40 airports as the country's aviation system recovers from a shortage of air traffic controllers during the record government. The agency said airlines will only have to cancel 3% of their flights beginning 6 a.m. on Saturday instead of 6%. So, citing safety concerns, the FAA ordered flights reduced at the busy airports. That was on November 7th, and absences mounted as at control facilities, okay? But the cancellations peaked last Sunday, nearly 3,000 flights, about 10% of the ones scheduled as a result of the order, combined with continued controller shortages and bad weather. The numbers started to improve as the week went on, and more controllers returned to work amid the news of the possible shutdown deal in Congress being cleared up. So the rollback, the returning all their flights, comes in amid the improved staffing levels because they're returning to work after 43 days of shutdown ended on Wednesday night. So lessons learned here, all right? We definitely need to figure out how to get term conditions in on these government elected officials.
Term limits.
Term limits need to be put in. And number two, if anybody's going to take a hit in their back pocket when it comes to not getting along and not being able to negotiate or wheel and deal with somebody, or just standing in the corner holding your breath till your face turns blue, it shouldn't be taken out on those public servants that are working their butt off, especially when it comes to safety or any job. You know, they're relying on that paycheck. It should come out of their pocket, out of Congress, out of Senate. Those resolutions will come a lot faster. And who knows, maybe they'll even get to the point of being able to balance this budget. So, having said that, I'm going to continue to move on here. About 2 weeks ago, I was out in Mobile, Alabama, and I was there to see the Merlin Marlin people. I'm going to give you a little history on flying boats here. If you would go to the computer there, and let's see if you can hear that. Is it playing through? No? No? Let's see. Watch your ears. Yep. Did I hear it?
No,
You're kidding.
I'm just getting it more home.
You don't hear it? Well, that's crazy.
I was hearing it earlier.
Yeah. Why is that? What is going on? You know, it's always something, people. I tell everybody that I have a ghost that follows me around. Hold your ears now.
It is the end of 1941. A squadron of Japanese pilots is launched from an aircraft carrier with the command, "Climb Mount Mitaka." Sunday, December 7th, the infamous day that will drag the United States into World War II. The Japanese air raid on Pearl Harbor.
Target 3/4 mile, dead ahead. Yeah, I can see it now.
In the war between submarine and airplane, direct confrontation was more the exception than the rule.
Are those Japanese?
So this
The greatest contribution maritime patrol gave to anti-submarine warfare was air deterrence.
Going for the submarine?
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
The number of U-boats actually sunk or damaged during the war is not high.
yeah.
They were, however, frequently forced to submerge far beneath the ocean's surface and thereby effectively deterred from attacking Allied shipping. When a direct attack could be made, as with this RAF Catalina, the effects were often lethal. The Catalina could hold 4 650-pound depth-charge bombs, and with a good hit, could seriously cripple or destroy an unlucky U-boat.
No, they will be replaced by the 230 But anyway, I just wanted to show you a little bit of that. This is what that group
On one routine U-boat,
putting together some historical information about them. They were really cordial, a lot of fun. We bantered back and forth, as you can imagine. The Air Force and their Navy, so I had to remind them why they keep the Marines on the ship. I won't say it here, but it's a good reason to be on that ship. They worked diligently together. One group were the services that attended the aircraft when it landed. They refueled it or fixed anything that was wrong with the aircraft. And the other were the crew. They had like about a 7-man crew flying on those aircraft, and they would fix the thing while they flew around. You had your captain, you had your radar operator, you had your ordnance, and I got some pretty good stories out of these guys that I'll be sharing in piecemeal on this channel, but for the most part it's going to be the documentary style movie that I'm going to have it together. And I got the information from them through my good friend Jerry Strickland, who used to fly one of those aircraft appropriately called the Woodpecker 9. So I even brought him back a hat. So Jerry, thanks for filling me in on that, and I know now that you are going to be going out there with me next year. You're not just going to say you're going to go and then crawfish out of it at the last minute. Anybody got any questions on that? right. What else you got, Fred?
I think we've covered everything today. We do want to wish everyone a great, happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the week with the family. Like I've always said, there's lots of turkey on the table, turkeys around the table. The big challenge is, what do you want to carve up first?
Yeah, Fred, I agree with you there. We gotta remember the seasons, the holiday season's coming along. What a great time to start learning how to get back together again and creating bonds. Making friendships, learning that if somebody doesn't see it your way, it's okay. You gotta learn how to love one another out there. There's too much hate and discontent in the world. So you don't get along with somebody, maybe you're not listening clearly. And you have to understand that they just might see it different than you. They come from different places. We're not all the same. If we were all the same, the world would be vanilla. And think of how boring just vanilla every day. Or Swiss cheese, eating Swiss cheese every day. It's the same thing. You don't want to live your life in a vacuum. You want to expand your horizons and learn about people. And calling people names because you don't have a form of defense is not helpful. Just, you don't have an argument? Well, maybe you should listen to what the other person has to say. That's about it. There was another thing that I wanted to talk about. Once again, Malcolm is back, and I want to say thank you to Malcolm for showing back up again. I believe we got the sound going. I think our podcast is doing very well. We're able to get back and forth on everything nicely. And remember, please, when you're watching the shows, again, watch more than one or two. Let the shows play through. Please, thumbs up, like them, and remember also that our show is sponsored by Fred and I. So get yourself some nice merch. Show that you support the channel. Rock one or two of these shirts. And I'll tell you what, for the first 50 orders on those shirts, we're gonna reduce the price down. What do you think? $20 a piece, Fred? You want to go there because it's the holiday season?
Okay.
So we'll give
Tax included.
Tax included. Oh my gosh, that's major reduction there. But you got to pay for the shipping because shipping is expensive. But thanks for watching, Brett.
Have a great holiday week, and we'll talk to you next Sunday.
Really, and if you eat too much turkey, remember to loosen up your belt buckle. You'll feel a lot better at the table. So from Behind the Scope LLC, Fred and I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you again next week. Same time, same bat channel.
Bye-bye.
Adios.